Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Yeah, no, that was the mood tonight, Ryan. First, you're like, yeah, Seton Hall might win, and no, they're not gonna win. It's Phil and Ryan. Listen up, Ryan. Oh boy, do we have it covered for everyone. Everyone, we appreciate it. Hey, make sure, guys, you like the video. A like goes a long way, further than you think. Keep commenting and subscribing. We appreciate it. I know Ryan appreciates it. Austin, right? Austin, Ryan, Austin, and Anita appreciates it. The city of Frederick. I could keep going on and on, but Ryan says, "Come on, you're wasting time." Yeah, the whole state of Maryland, and of course up there in UConn. We appreciate it. We all know that you do. So thank you. As UConn, Ryan comes away with a rather pretty big win, to say the least. Every win is big, right? But when you win like this, and again, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a lot of reason for concern to raise your eyebrows. I really don't, as far as in conference play, because guess what? I like this. It gets them ready for the Notre Dame kind of teams, the South Carolina kind of teams, right? When you don't only speak about them too, but you know they're coming in March, whatever March holds. So let's get on down into the first quarter, Ryan. The game started with a UConn turnover, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go with the turnovers. But the Pirates started the scoring 2-0 lead thanks to Baines. KK Arnold hit a three and responded well. Yeah, that's one of many threes for her. Talk about KK Arnold tonight.
Yeah.
Made it 3-2 UConn. The first foul of the game was on Bueckers, but I think that woke her up for good. Because, Ryan, I'll go over the post game comments with KK Arnold here tonight. But guess what, Ryan? Between Caden Samuels, Leah Edwards, Paige Bueckers, Nika Mule with the assist, I could go on and on. It was just an all-around great second and fourth quarters. Again, something that you need to outweigh, right? The good and the bad. And again, it can't all be good, perfect four quarters all the time. We just can't expect it. Seton Hall started the game very patient and disciplined. You know, I had that noted down for you. Satterfield tied it 9-9. Then Seton Hall all of a sudden went ahead 11-9. And Ryan, Seton Hall's run was over at 16-9. It was Seton Hall at one point. You move on to the second quarter, belonged to UConn, obviously. Great job by Nika with the assist, finding her open teammates. KK continued the sharp shooting tonight from beyond three. Edwards did a great job with getting aggressive, fighting with every ounce, right, Ryan, of energy to win the rebound battle. Paige was getting aggressive with the end ones along with Caden Samuels. I like that a lot. 51-33 UConn halftime. Ryan, move on to the third quarter. There was a scare in the third. Bueckers went down and took some time to get back up. Ryan, she was holding her neck. So hopefully no concussion. I guess hopefully they'll run some tests on her tonight or when they get back home. But to me, she came back. She looked perfectly fine. So hopefully she is okay. 61-51 UConn, end of three. In that third quarter, Ryan, I know you have some comments for me. I was kind of expecting UConn to turn the pace up. That's what we've been so used to, right, all season long after halftime and extend that lead into the fourth. Maybe to give Ice a little bit more time with the ball, Edwards more time with the ball down low. But hats off to Seton Hall, very good defense. So we have to remember, Ryan, Seton Hall is second in the league in points allowed, in this year. So we have to remember that. Fourth quarter, very much a ball game entering the fourth. And I was like, man, Ryan, something that we have not said too often this season, right? Especially against Big East opponents. What about Baines and Edwards jawing at each other? I don't think that's your kind of game. But Ryan, I was just sitting there smiling because every now and then I just like the trash talk. You know what I mean? But it's not what about Baines? I told you about them jawing. And then as they were trying to score multiple times, UConn, that is, Baines would not be denied. Cannons going off, right? Setting the pirate mood. Nice blocks for Baines and Seton Hall. Paige and Nika starting to be a scary duo, Ryan, for the rest of these teams in the country. And it's very good to see as we approach the end of January. Again, good ball movement on the zone. And tonight, when you needed a three ball, one player was for sure going to nail it down. And that was our good friend, KK Arnold. Huskies pulled away in the fourth, even though things were getting a bit chippy, Ryan, like I mentioned. And this is the second time this year Buckets has reached at least 30. Great sign for Nika and Paige, the chemistry, and Paige, again, great sign as we approach the end of January. Ryan, KK post game press conference, she mentioned keeping their cool, keeping their composure, playing their game, having the confidence, shooting the ball when you were wide open, right? Just the little things. Consistency with KK's shot was working before and after games, getting her shots up, getting Paige riled. And she mentioned getting Paige riled up is a bad idea for other teams. And she's not sure if anyone can stop her. I like that kind of talk, but of course you have to back it up, especially around this time of the year. And of course they are right now. And KK Arnold, to my opinion, I had this at the end, Ryan. Nothing to do with the game, but KK Arnold, in my opinion, I don't think this is going to change as far as this season. She wins the Lady Huskies Media Award in my book. I mean, what a great personality. If I had to choose one player on this roster, Ryan, I think it would be KK Arnold. To just sit down, have a fresh hot cup of tea, and just talk basketball. What a great person. Let me tell you.
Yeah, well, I definitely can't disagree with you on that one. That's for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, always entertaining stuff from KK and the media. In the huddles, on the floor, all that stuff. But my recap, I'll make it short and sweet.
Yeah.
Not really a whole lot to say, but Seton Hall, they really couldn't miss from deep in the first quarter. They shot 80%, and you had to think that they couldn't continue that the whole game. They only averaged about 5 made 3-pointers coming into this game. They made
Okay.
7 in the first half, so they really couldn't miss in that first quarter.
Yeah.
Second quarter dominated by UConn. They really controlled the pace, got out to a lead, and went on what I believe was a 25-6 run, if I heard it correctly. Seton Hall just looked like they were out of gas, really fatigued. It looked like just couldn't keep up with UConn, and the Huskies really took full advantage of that in the second quarter. Paige and Aaliyah up to double figures, and Nika had 5 rebounds, 7 assists at the end of the first half. And again, the Pirates fought back again in the third quarter, while UConn struggled to score. Huskies only with a total of 10 points scored in that quarter. Paige, like you said, came out of the game for a couple minutes after getting hit in the head. But the way she finished the game certainly looks like she'll be okay. A lot of contact, fouls, whistles in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. You could tell the intensity really picked up. UConn was able to get their offense going a little bit to end the game there, and able to hang on for an 83-59 win. It honestly didn't really seem like it was that far away. Score doesn't really dictate how the game kind of went, in my opinion. But like you said, Paige was definitely the tone setter tonight. Came up clutch for UConn when they needed a basket. She had a season high 32 tonight. KK with a very good game, 15 points, 4 3-pointers made. Aaliyah Edwards close to another double-double with 17 and 9. Nico, third time this season with 10 assists. Ashlyn
Yeah.
Shade, she struggled to score tonight, which seems like the first time in a long time. Hopefully she'll get it going again the next game when UConn goes back home. I'm sure UConn's pretty glad to go back home on Saturday. Finally glad to get back home after this pretty rough game tonight, I'd say.
Yeah, shout out to Chelsea Sherrod. Always does a great job for UConn on SNY. And Paige Bueckers, Ryan, she says to have a good game like this on the road in the Big East, it's huge for us. And yeah, definitely. I think the turning point, Ryan, one of the turning points, if you ask me, back all the way go back to that first quarter when UConn fought back into the game, tying it up at 17, right, Ryan? I mean, they was down as much as 16-9, Seton Hall with that lead. And then we have to remember at the end of 23-21, Seton Hall, right? So great job. Again, Nika was taking it to the basket aggressively. Nika, nice job taking it aggressively to the hoop at the end of the first to send the Huskies with a big momentum twist right into the second quarter. Let's go down into comments, just a couple very quickly, and then we will get on out of here. Ryan, how about Jason D'Amico? I would like to see UConn work on not committing so many fouls. I realize that other teams are making it a point to play extra physical against them, but UConn needs to practice maintaining discipline against that kind of attack if they are going to compete with the top ranks in March. UConn wins 84-62. Peace. Whoa, Ryan. Well, look at the score. Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close to that score prediction. Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected, Seton Hall to keep it close tonight. Like I said, I didn't end up picking a close game, but I'm not really surprised Seton Hall kept it close. The fouls are a very good point because that's a lot of the time what it comes down to in March Madness is kind of the free throws, who's in foul trouble, and especially with with UConn, their injuries now not having a lot of depth like they had in the beginning of the season, only a couple of players available to come off of the bench. So definitely, as we get deeper into the season and in these elimination games in March, UConn cannot afford to get into foul trouble. I think they did a pretty decent job tonight. The second half was really just all over the place in terms of how chippy it got at times. And like we said, a lot of whistles blown back and forth. But I think that's something that they definitely can clean up before the end of the season and as we start getting into March.
All right, one more, Ryan. How about Lindsey Matthews? Who knows how good Caitlin Clark would have been if she played at UConn and was able to play with players who were coached by Gino. Because she didn't, she doesn't have one national championship. That proves the saying, there is no I in the word team. Yeah, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you a lot. I've been dealing with that for years, right, Ryan? She might be shocked when she has to go into the pros and play with former UConn players.
Yeah, and I think Iowa, I think they won last night. I believe it was, and Caitlin Clark scored a ton of points again. I believe got close to another record or broke another record, but it definitely should be fun to watch Iowa in March Madness. And Caitlin Clark as she enters or goes into her final ride in March Madness. And it should be definitely fun to watch her in the WNBA, see how she does, what team is able to select her. Pretty certain she's going to go #1 overall, but otherwise it should be really fun to watch her in the WNBA. But Caitlin Clark, spectacular player, but Paige with 32 tonight, a great game from her as well.
How about U.S. veteran Ryan? He goes, Phil is now Rye. No, let me tell you, no one can be Ryan. Okay, well, Ryan is unique. Ryan is special, and Ryan, that's some good compliments right there for you. All right, I mean that. I really do. We want to thank Ryan for all his hard work, Austin, and for everyone tuning in tonight. Again, Ryan, what's the final score? Do you have it pulled up here? Because I already lost the final score. I'm moving on to Saturday already. I'm ready to see some home basketball in Connecticut. Oh, is it 83-59? It looks like, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will be back tomorrow with you that quick for some last check-in action once again. Ryan, there's nothing like UConn women's basketball on a Saturday at Gamble. All right. We'll be right back here tomorrow night to talk some DePaul and UConn. Phil and Ryan, listen up.